Back live here at Star News in Martinsville, updating you on a breaking news story we brought you just a short while ago of a major drug bust that has been going on in Henry County. This is not the beginning and this is not the end. Don Dick Jansen was there on the scene and can tell us more about what he saw, Dick.
It was a very interesting scene and somewhat of a tense scene. Now, this incident occurred maybe half an hour ago, if that, in front of the Food Line Kmart area there on 220. Now, when I arrived on the scene, they already had one suspect in custody, asking him several questions, such as, are we going to find drugs in this vehicle, and informing I guess the suspect in this case that this sort of action usually can end up with you losing your vehicle. So trying to get cooperation out of one person there on the scene. It is my understanding that they did have another individual in custody, a second individual in custody. And I will go ahead and say that I really would have liked to have gotten you guys more video, but at the same time, this is an ongoing criminal investigation that has been, I don't know if this has been going on for just days in process, maybe months, but that's one thing that we don't want to do is ruin that investigation.
Well, let's go back several months ago when Charles got the vehicles, and I can't remember what vehicles it were, but they were stopped down on the bypass. And of course, we called the state police, we called the sheriff's department. We knew who was involved. We had actually heard some traffic that we weren't supposed to hear leading up to it, but they'd followed these people all the way down from Carolina and decided to take them down. One on the bypass, and then it was one at Laurel Park at the bingo shop. I remember one was a white BMW. We know drugs were involved. That's all part of this thing. And the way that works is you have people undercover that know that there are drugs in their car that are talking to the police. That's why it's so dangerous. That's why we've got two people in Henry County that burned up in a vehicle, were shot and burned up in a vehicle that they're still trying to solve. They were working for the police. They were due to be in court that following Tuesday. We followed that up. We asked the sheriff about that, and he very clearly said we cannot comment on that activity. So this is dangerous stuff, and that's why when you've got these police officers, some of them are police officers, they're sworn officers, some of them are what we call informants. They're not sworn officers, they're not actually carrying a gun or a badge, but they're informing the police, working with them to get them connected with the people that are shipping the drugs in here, and that's obviously what's going on here. And we've always done that. If there's an undercover officer at the scene, they've asked us not to video, and we don't video them. Because it could endanger their life or life of the family or somebody involved in this. Obviously, like you said, they're going to take the truck. There were drugs. If there were drugs, well, we will not know about this till indictments come out. And probably some of this is sealed because there's so much activity going on right now. I've talked with some people in the community that's saying that certain people have had their doors kicked in, drugs seized, people that are known to be in the drug trafficking, and it seems to be centered around that. Those two people that got killed was burned up. I think the police are dead set on solving that, and I think a lot of this has got something to do with that.
I'd have to agree, Bob. Anytime you have drugs involved, it's always a very dangerous situation. And I also like the law enforcement tactics when involved in questioning suspects. For example, I heard one question asked at one point in time, how long has the other individual been in your vehicle, and then the suspect said an hour. And then there was some more questioning, and about 5 or 10 minutes later, the officer said, so how long was he in your vehicle? Oh, about 5 minutes, just so we can make a trip from right over there over to here. So, I mean, it's those sort of inconsistencies that law enforcement officers are trained to look for, and also it can give them clues as to, what's really going on. Is this witness really cooperating, or are there different methods that we need to go down?
And so often, and we've seen this right in Carolina yesterday with the 100 and some marijuana plants. This could be part of that. With DEA being involved with it, you can bet whatever went on in that vehicle was probably that it's bugged. I mean, it's probably conversation that will incriminate whoever's involved in what criminal activity. And the police will use that as leverage and say, look, we've got you with, let's just pick a number of 5 pounds of marijuana. We got your vehicle. You're facing 5 to 10 years in the penitentiary now. If you can get so-and-so who we're looking for up here, help us do that, then we'll make a recommendation to the court and maybe get you some leniency. That's how dirty this business is. and that's how dangerous it is, and we know that because we've seen the 2 people that died and were burned up. That was to send a message to other people that might get involved in activities with the police. But it'll be an ongoing thing, and we may never hear anything about it, but eventually it should surface in court, and we'll know something more about it. All right, Dick, we thank you for that, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.